It's no secret how much I love the iPad mini 6, and rightfully so. I mean, even Apple wants us to use an iPad as an iPad. They don't want it to be a computer despite how powerful they keep making these iPads. And for that, the iPad mini size, the form factor, the portability, the capability is perfect. But is this the right time to buy an iPad mini 6? Because you and a lot of others have asked me about the iPad mini 7, so I've kept my eyes on all the rumors and the news going on, and I want to fill you in on those and then help you decide whether the iPad mini 7 is going to be the right choice or whether you should just buy an iPad mini 6 right now. So first and foremost, the main update that's going to happen is going to be with the processor. And that is mainly so that it can be compatible with all the new Apple Intelligence stuff. You see, I've been using the beta, and I was actually really curious about the iOS 18 beta on the iPad mini and whether or not it would slow it down or how good it's going to perform. And to be honest, I've been really happy. But none of the Apple Intelligence stuff is here. And I really don't understand that because this is capable to run games. This performs really well. So I think it's just one of those things, the Apple way to make you buy the latest and greatest to get the latest and greatest features that they're going to offer. So the processor jump really isn't going to be something for me that is going to be like, okay, I need to replace my iPad mini 6 because it's too slow. But it's going to be more of, do you want Apple Intelligence? Do you want all the new features that the new processor is going to be making the iPad mini 7 capable of that the iPad mini 6 just can't do? The new iPad mini 7 is going to have the A17 chip, and this currently has the A15. And honestly, all these processors and stuff don't mean anything. I don't care about benchmarks. What I judge devices on is how they perform day to day. And have I, in my entire ownership of this iPad mini 6, noticed it being sluggish or slow or hindering anything that I've wanted to do? Even as far as video edits, nothing. The next upgrade is going to be with the display. So the iPad mini 6 had this whole jelly scrolling issue, and honestly, it hasn't bothered me. I play games on here, I read articles on here, I watch videos on here, and it's been a great experience. Like, I really haven't struggled with anything as far as this display. Even outdoors, the display has been plenty bright for me to have a good viewing experience when I'm on the move. However, I would love to see something more than that. Maybe a better resolution, maybe an improved display as opposed to just the jelly scrolling issue. And again, this is one of those things, like if you're on the iPad mini 6, is that something that really bothers you? If it does, then yeah, you might want to make the upgrade. But if you can live with it and it really doesn't exist as an issue and you have the iPad mini 6, I don't know, is the iPad mini 7 really going to be that enticing to jump up to? I'm not so sure about that. Now, even though the display really isn't a major upgrade for me, one thing I would really love to see is something I read about, which is the camera placement. So right now, when you have the iPad like set on its side, right? Even if you have it vertical, portrait, landscape, whichever way you're using it, if you're looking at the other person on a video call, it's always going to look as if you're looking away from the person and not at the person, even though you are. But that's just because of the placement of the camera. So if they just move it into that landscape orientation to where the camera is dead center, that is really going to be helpful. And that actually would be something that I would love to change. Even though I'm not really big on doing video calls from my iPad specifically, I do them mainly from my phone, but that still is an improvement that will benefit lots of people. So the camera, the display, and the processor, those three things are like your major upgrades, but then I've also been reading things about Wi-Fi 6, improved Bluetooth. So those things will be a nice addition, and I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of little things tied in there because this is getting an upgrade after several years. So the more enticing Apple can make it, the better it will be for existing customers and new customers alike. I've really loved the iPad mini 6 and I continue loving the iPad mini 6. I use this thing on a daily basis. And quite honestly, I'm more excited for the iPad mini 7 as opposed to like the new iPhones, because those just seem like it's going to be the same story again with a little bit of Apple intelligence placed on top to get everybody to make the jump. Quite frankly, I'm really not that interested. But let's see what the iPad mini 7 offers. Tell me, what do you want to see in the iPad mini 7? Are you still on the fence? Like, do you have an iPad mini 6? Are you going to upgrade? Or what would it take for you to upgrade? I'd be really curious to know what your thoughts are. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here and watch my video. If you've enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. And like always, take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next video.